Holy heck, that was a lot of basketball. Happy New Year. Basketball isn't slowing down basically until April. Welcome to conference play. The schedule's basically every week from here on out loaded. Not quite as hectic as yesterday, probably, but a ton of SEC, Big Ten, ACC games last night. Big 12 dominates Wednesday. It seems like forever ago. Wednesday. So many enticing matchups across the country. League plays here to stay. It's a 2-month sprint to the Final Four in Phoenix. Welcome to the first 2026 edition of the Gauer Hour. Rob Joyce live from the world's darkest hotel room in the suburbs of our nation's capital. Megan Gauer. Megan, Happy New Year to you.
Happy New Year. It was good. It was good. It was nice to be home. It's all good here. Back to work today, so a little less jolly mood this morning, but it's all good.
We have a lot to get to. Gonna be a long one. Recap everything that happened this week. Frankly, we could spend most of the show talking about like half of what happened yesterday.
Yes.
Big week to come. We'll finish up with 2 more all-time drafts, 2 big ones. We'll close out with Connecticut next week. Today, program in Knoxville, Tennessee. You may have heard of them. What was your favorite Christmas present?
Well, I feel like we do a lot of presents this year in general because my family went on vacation, so that kind of like was everyone's
You're upset.
present. Yeah. But my boyfriend and I did a new thing where, because we also just don't need more stuff. We have enough stuff. We went to New York for the weekend after Christmas and like each planned a day. So that was nice.
What'd you do?
We took a cocktail making class on Saturday, which was fun. Went to a spa on Sunday. So it was good.
Nice. Maybe my favorite Christmas present wasn't one that I got. You know, a 4-year-old, you're all in, got a million things. He got a magic kit.
Oh, fun.
And Christmas night, my uncle and I are like going through the magic kit. I can make a ball disappear from a cup. Not to brag. Not to brag.
Is it one of the ones, I'm like thinking back to what I had when I was a kid, where like the hat has like a compartment that like a fake bunny comes out of and stuff like that? Or no? Am I?
There's no fake bunny, but a magician doesn't tell his secrets.
Yeah.
But yes, there's you can release 2 things, and one has an empty ball, the other has like what looks like a ball.
Yeah.
Magic. You know who else is magic that can make balls go into cups? Tony Morgan.
Yeah.
How about that win for Kentucky last night in Baton Rouge? A game that there were like 5 or 6 times. It was never comfortable, but I thought, all right, LSU's got this.
Yeah.
And Kentucky just kept chipping away, and then they get a dagger.
Yeah, I mean, Tony Morgan was fantastic. 24 points, 12 assists. LSU just really had no answer for her at all, and a heck of a win for a Kentucky team. I think is good, but this is the first like really big win that they've gotten this year.
They beat Louisville, right?
Oh yeah, that's true. That's shaping up to be a pretty big win too. So
yes, they're very different from last year. Where last year, you know, if Georgia Amore and or Clara Strack didn't show up, they were in trouble. They didn't have a whole lot of depth. Well, this year's team is much more balanced. Obviously, Strack is still there. She's the star. That little step back and one was disgusting, but they have 6 basically in double figures. Asia Boone, she averages like 9.8. We'll round up. Team that is kind of built to win. They have depth a little bit. I should say, in terms of quality, not so much quantity, but they have experience. They have the ability to score. If they can make a few more threes, like this is a really good recipe for a Wildcats team that kind of like last year, people didn't expect this. 2nd year in a row, and here they are, and they're going to be in the top 10 next week.
Yeah, absolutely. And then they next week. I like my days of the week are all mixed up. It feels like
Today is Friday.
Monday. Yeah, but it's Friday. It's very confusing. Anyway, but yeah, no, they will be a top 10 team next week and deservedly slow. This is a really nice win over an LSU team that I feel like LSU, this happens like every year. It's like they don't play anyone, and then you get to conference play, and then you have to play your first like real game, and then they get caught off guard.
Yes and no. I mean, I feel like Duke kind of represents that more because that first real game, it was like 15-2 out of the gates. Yeah. And then they settled down and won comfortably. I don't take a whole lot away. It's hard because you're right. This is their second quote unquote real game, and they lost at home in a game that they led. Like it was a close game throughout, but like they led most of the second half.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what to make of LSU. Like they're a known commodity, right? So even with the bad schedule, like we know how good Flau'jae is. We know how good Michaela Williams is. We know she's new, but we know how good Mylasia Fulwiley is. Amaya Joyner was huge. She's been very, very good in their 2 big games. But I feel like a lot of this is reputation because at this point, the resume isn't top 5.
Yeah, and I think for like before I can really make any judgments on this team, like I think we need to see them against. I mean, they've got a gauntlet coming right with SEC play, so we're gonna learn how good this team actually is. Because yeah, it is all reputation right now. Because you beat Duke, which is a good win, but it's not. I think the quality of win that you might have thought going into that game, and then this is your first kind of top 10 type test, and you come up short, but just barely. So I think we just need to see a little bit more from LSU to really know what this team is. And I think when we're talking about what this team is, right, we're saying are they in that group that's the top clear 4, 5, 6 teams, or is it they're still probably a top 10 team regardless, but just like are they a little bit more with the everyone else than they are with that top group is what
Right.
we're trying to figure out.
I'm not in the world of rankings. It causes too much discourse. It doesn't matter. In terms of like tiers, you have UConn and Texas for the favorites. South
Yeah.
Carolina, UCLA, it's like Final Four or bust. And then there's LSU. Like, are they Final Four or bust? Probably with Kim Mulkey and the talent.
Mhm.
Or in reality, are they like hoping to get to the Final Four? They're the one team that's kind of like in between. And at this point, I mean, they'll have 10 more quad one games and a tournament to prove that they can get to the Final Four. They lost a game because I will say there were 18.5 seconds left at the start of that possession. Kentucky called timeout for 17 and a half of those seconds. It was disgusting.
Yeah.
Like, all right, I understand. All right, clock gets to 10, go. That happens everywhere. Then it didn't do anything for 9 seconds. And then she just chucks up a 3. And like, if it doesn't go in, LSU wins. And it's a different conversation we're having. A dreadfully drawn up play. It wasn't a play. It wasn't a play. It worked out. Tony Morgan, I tweeted during the game, all underrated transfer team. She's not underrated anymore because she made SportsCenter.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, where on earth do you want to go next? Couple upsets in the Big Ten?
Yeah, let's go there.
All right, let's start. How about Illinois? I told you about Barry Wells a few weeks ago. If you didn't know, you know what a statement win for the Illini over Maryland by 3.
Yeah, this is a really nice win for Illinois at home. I feel like there's just like this chunk of Big Ten teams that are hanging around like 7 to 10 seed line range and like begging for someone to try to start and making their way out of that group. And I think this is a nice win in terms of trying to go that direction for Illinois.
I started some prep on Wednesday, looking ahead to next week, and I wrote, quote, they're going to get someone. I was more referencing Michigan State this weekend. I didn't necessarily think it would be Maryland, but this is a team that, if you take care of the ball, 12 turnovers a game, you're near and dear to my heart. They have some gamers in Wallace. Gretchen Dolan coming off a knee injury from last year. She's been very good in her return. Remember, Illinois had a pretty good recruiting class, too. A couple of top 50 recruits. One of them is Sierra Parchment. She's living up to the hype as a 6'3" inside threat. They didn't really face a gauntlet until yesterday, per se, so we haven't talked about them a whole lot, but 13-1. You just beat Maryland. You have Michigan State, Ohio State in the next 3. You head to Michigan. You host Nebraska. You host UCLA. And that's all before January ends. Then they open February with a West Coast road trip to Washington and Oregon. Then you host USC. Jesus. So they're going to lose some games.
Yeah.
They're going to win some of these games. This is a top 25 team. And I think this batch of Big Ten teams, like last year, it was what you said, like 7 to 10 seeds. This year it might be like 5 to 8 seeds.
Yeah, I think there's some room to climb, especially because these teams are teams that are going to rack up some of these Q1, Q2 games quickly here.
Maryland first loss. I'm not worried about the loss. I don't think they're a top 10 team, but that's not really their fault. Like, I'm actually quite impressed that they were undefeated still, given they've lost 2 starters to ACL tears. During the break, Bree McDaniel announced she won't be back this year. She tore her ACL last January, thought she might come back. She's going to sit out the year. You're down 3 of your most important players coming into the year. Took care of business against Wisconsin. I think they're far closer to that jumble in the Big Ten than they are UCLA, Michigan, and it showed that. But they're still a very good team.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's really impressive that they've gotten this far without losing a game, considering all the things you just said about what they've lost, right? Like it's just they've been dealt a really tough hand of cards for the season, and they've still managed to hold on and win these games, and like this is not a bad loss by any stretch of the imagination. Like at Illinois is not a bad loss, so I think
No,
they're not a top 10 team, but like they're still a tournament team. They're still going to be very good.
no, the net rankings were updated, I think, since we've started talking 10 minutes ago. Yeah, Illinois, top 35 in the net.
Yeah,
That's going to be on the road. It's going to be a quad one loss.
right.
It's fine. Uh, Meanwhile, this is the Washington I've waited for.
Yes, finally. This is like I'm like feel a little validated in the hype that we had for them prior to the season because it has not shown itself in any of their games this far. But Avery Howell had quite the coming out party for them last night, and what a win!
Had a double-double by halftime, 19 or 22 and 16, something like that.
Yep.
Most impressive. Savia Sellers didn't do anything.
Yeah.
And they won handily against
Mhm.
Michigan. Yeah, West Coast trip, blah, blah, blah. It's hard. Yeah, welcome to the new world.
Mhm.
Finally, I jumped off a week too soon. Someone reached out to you and I on social media and was like, yeah, about Washington. You guys are up in on Washington. It's like, yeah, they played 3 games, like nice win at Utah, lost to Stanford, lost to whoever else they lost to. And it's like, yeah, all right, maybe fine. Like, we can be wrong. It's fine. Jumped off a week too soon.
Yeah, they're back. I'm back on.
Yes. Hammered Michigan on the glass.
Yeah.
Going in, again, doing my prep, I kind of just said, all right, they'll probably lose to Michigan. And then heading to Michigan State this weekend, I need to start to see it from Washington.
Right.
Well, we saw it from
Got it
Washington.
early.
Michigan, meanwhile, boy, played with fire on this West Coast trip, right? The less said about Monday's game against Oregon, the better. It was disgusting. They blew a big lead. They hung on in double overtime. Again, I'm not going to overreact to one bad game at a very good team on the road when you're on a 5-day road trip, 2,000 miles from home. You just saw some how Michigan can struggle a bit. Namely, I don't want to oversimplify it. Silas Swords and Olivia Olson don't make shots. Your best players don't make shots. You're vulnerable.
Yeah, and I felt like you maybe saw just a little bit on this trip too, like it being a young team, a little bit of a holiday slump. Like you're just not used to like this come off the holidays, go on this big West Coast road trip. Like it's not a team that's been through that cycle, for this is the 4th time, and they just like know how to handle it like a business trip. So I'm not worried about it unless it becomes a habit here. Like I think they're gonna be just fine.
Right, like first half against Oregon, they're up 16. Silas Swords and Olivia Olson were 8 of 14. Second half, they were 1 of 15. And hey, they blew a big lead, hung on. I mean, 49 turnovers, the free throw shooting.
Yeah.
How hard it is to shoot 42% from the line in 38 attempts. That's hard. Oregon shot 59%. They were magnificent by comparison. The clock stopped with 5 seconds left in overtime. Like needed to figure it out. The Ducks had an inbounds in overtime to win it, and like didn't even get it within 30 feet of the basket. I saw like game of the year stuff. No, that was not the game of the year.
Yeah.
That was a disgusting. Sure, it was exciting. Went to double overtime. It was a disgusing game that should never be spoken about again. Game of the year is LSU Kentucky. That's high level shot making.
Right.
Yeah. I'm going to get off on a tangent. Nice win for Washington over Michigan. Michigan splits a West Coast road trip. Let me pull up. Big Ten. Obviously, UCLA's class of the Big Ten. They're starting to play well. Or they've been playing well. Lauren Betts is starting to look more like what we thought Lauren Betts would be. I'm going to list you like 12 teams. Tell me the difference between Illinois, Iowa, USC, Maryland, Washington, Michigan State, Ohio State, Michigan, Minnesota, Nebraska, and Oregon.
Yeah, I can't. Like, it's just a jumble. It's such a jumble. I do still think that, like, despite this weekend blip, like, I think Michigan is probably at the top of that group. But yeah, it's going to be fascinating to watch what happens.
They're just going to beat the crap out of each other. So there's going to be losses. They're going to be wins for all these teams. If they all go, like someone has to go 500. And they might be sweating out Selection Sunday because because they play in the Big Ten. You go, how many games you play? 20, 18, however many games they play. Like you win 9 Big Ten games, like take care of business against the bottom feeders. And then find 5 or 6 wins against the top half, you're a good team.
Yeah, agreed.
We'll jump around a little bit. We can go back to, actually, we'll stay in the Big Ten. Iowa, Nebraska, one of the 2 ranked unranked games. That was a very entertaining game, I thought.
Yeah. Really entertaining. Iowa pulled away there, but I thought it was an entertaining game. I feel like we're starting to see Anna Stuelke emerge a little bit
Mhm.
more for this Iowa team too. She had 21-10 last night, but I mean 17 against UConn. 3 games ago, she had 31 against Lindenwood. Like we're starting to see a little bit more of a dominance inside from her that we hadn't seen kind of going into that UConn game, where we're kind of like it's Hannah Stuelke's team, but it doesn't necessarily feel that way.
I had the exact same note written down. Credit where it's due. She's been very good since we basically kind of questioned her for lack of a better term. Her worst game in the last 4, she only had to play 24 minutes against Penn State, had 14 points. She's always rebounded well. She's well over 60% field goal in this little stretch. She's very good. And when I was big 3, Stuelke, Hayden, and Wright play like this, they had 63 points yesterday, combined to shoot over 60%. That's hard to beat when your big 3 play well. Again, it's sometimes it seems like overly simplified. Their best players played well, and they won a tough game.
Yeah, exactly.
Thoughts on Nebraska? They're fairly light schedule. They're now back-to-back losses to USC and Iowa after 12-0 start. I think some other teams like Alabama and Georgia kind of paper tigers. I don't think Nebraska's there. Britt Prince is really, really good. She was really good yesterday. I just think they're of this jumble of Big Ten teams. They're non-conference. They don't quite have the resume. So don't be like 13th place or 12th place in the Big Ten. Finish top half.
Yeah, they've got to get some in that kind of group of 12 teams that we talked about. They got to get some of those for sure.
Yeah, I mean, their best wins right now. Again, it's January. They have so many opportunities.
Yeah.
Virginia, maybe in the conversation. Creighton, not a tournament team. Penn State, not a tournament team. They just had 2 gettable quad 1 opportunities, USC and yesterday Iowa, lost them both. Again, by the way, Megan updated bracketology.
Yes.
It's been a hot second.
Yeah, it has, but it is there.
Is Nebraska here? Oh, jeez, I'm on the wrong.
They're there somewhere. I forget where. I can't keep that jumble of Big Ten teams.
Yeah, like you still have them as a 5 seed.
Yeah.
So yeah, they have wiggle room here.
Yeah,
their net's very good. I'm just saying, like, don't of all these teams, their non-conference doesn't stack up if it comes to that.
Yeah,
just take care of business against start to get. They missed 2 quad 1 opportunities. They have plenty more. Just take care of them. All right, ACC. Upset of the day yesterday. Georgia Tech, not last year's Georgia Tech. This year's, respectfully, rebuilding Georgia Tech, beating Notre Dame in overtime.
Yeah, I mean, Georgia Tech was 5-9 going into this game. Like, this is not. I know the Irish are struggling. This is not a team you're expecting to knock off Notre Dame.
Quad 3 loss, and it will stay a quad 3 loss.
Yeah, just a tough loss for Notre Dame. And you get what you want from Hannah Hidalgo, right? 26 points, 10 assists, but I think you just like very clearly see here like where they just don't have a lot beyond her, because you get that and you still can't get a win over a 5-9 team. The defense is clearly struggling. Obviously this went into overtime, but still you allowed 95 points. Like, it's just things are not looking great in South Bend.
Honestly, I like the offense they scored 90 points and they only played 6 players, but it wasn't just the Hannah Hidalgo show. Like, they got production from everyone else. It's the glaring 5-alarm fire that they don't have anyone in the post. Georgia Tech had 52 points in the paint. Talia Walker had her career high was 22. Yesterday she had 33. 7 of her 10 field goals were layups. Lania Foster had 9 field goals. 6 of them were layups. She also had 10 rebounds, 6 assists. There's no discernible inside presence. And if Georgia Tech's going to exploit that, what's NC State with Camille Pierre, Tilda Trieger going to do? What's Duke going to do on Sunday? Louisville isn't the biggest team in the world. When you get to the tournament, you run into, pick your team, Texas, South Carolina. They're going to annihilate you. Yeah. USC doesn't have much of a front court. You're able to get away with it. Impressive win, 4 weeks ago now. Georgia Tech's going to expose you down low. Heck of a win for the Jackets.
Yeah.
Everyone jumped ship after last year. Nell Fortner retired. Tony Morgan's at Kentucky. Danny Carnegie is Georgia. Chit Chat Wright's at Iowa. Kara Dunn's at USC. They're all gone. Exceptional win for Georgia Tech. They're not going to make the tournament unless they go and win the ACC tournament. Still, take them where you can get them. Where else do you want to go from yesterday? I mean, there's South Carolina, Bama. Notes Nia Latson. She appears to be just sprained her ankle. She'll be back. South Carolina's fine. Yeah. Ole Miss, Georgia. Ole Miss look good. That was nice to
Yeah.
see. I don't buy Georgia as a 14. Georgia was 14-0. I don't think they're going to win many SEC games. But nice to see Ole Miss, a
Mhm.
team that I'm low on. Probably unfair. I don't buy it, but nice win.
Yeah. Yeah, agreed. Nice to see them put it together against this Georgia team. I feel like my biggest other takeaway from yesterday was a yikes for Stanford.
That was as high popping a score as I
Yeah.
saw all day. My fourth quarter for the Wolfpack, it was close-ish until the fourth, and then the Wolfpack ran away with it. NC State's starting to find its swagger again a little
Yeah.
bit. I mean, that quartet of Brooks, Pierre, Jones, Trieger, it's very good. The
Mhm.
Wolfpack might find themselves ranked again.
Yeah, I think they're definitely trending in the right direction. And then, I mean, for Stanford, this isn't the end of the world, right? Like they just came off a couple of nice wins over Oregon and Washington. They're stringing together actually quite a good resume. But this is just the number itself and the way they lost. Um, it was a little bit eye popping, but actually a fun little bracketology fact on Stanford. Um, when I was doing bracketology on Wednesday, there was 5 teams that had 5 or more Q1 and Q2 wins in the country.
Mm-hmm.
It's the 4 teams you would expect. Your top 4 teams: UConn, Texas, UCLA, South Carolina, and then Stanford.
Oh, wow. I didn't realize
Yeah.
that. I mean, the freshmen yesterday struggled. Swain and Shamafai were like 4 of a billion.
Mhm.
Before that, though, they were very good. Courtney Ogden was in double figures in both those games. What did we say 2 weeks ago? We'd like to see Stanford split Washington and Oregon. Well, they went 2-0. Nunu Aguera, she's the known commodity. Does it concern me that their first East Coast trip, they got obliterated? And they're going to go on many, many East Coast trips? A little bit. A little bit. I wish that margin wasn't quite 28.
Mhm.
Young team. See how they handle it on Sunday with a trip to North Carolina. But yes, I'm with you. That was a fairly eye-popping score. And for NC State, the Rhode Island loss. I know you should still beat Rhode Island, et cetera, et cetera.
Mhm.
That's not a bad loss.
Yeah, Rhode Island team that's looking like it very well could make the tournament right now.
If you missed it, they beat Richmond on Tuesday. I mean, you have them in the field right now.
Yeah, I mean they've got 3 Q1 and Q2 wins. That's pretty solid place as a mid-major. The loss to Rutgers, that's a Q3 loss. That's not great, but their only other loss is to Princeton. That's a fine loss. I think the thing for them is you can't pick up another Q3, Q4 loss in conference play. But if you keep your losses to the likes of a Richmond, a Mason, Davidson, I think they've got a really nice shot to be in the field. That Q1 win over NC State is going to, I think, age very well, and that's going to be a very nice asset for them come Selection Sunday.
Yes. Here's a trivia question for you. Do you know who the number 10 team in their Hoop Stats rankings is?
Is it Rhode Island? Because we're talking.
No. Moving on. No, I'll give you a second guess. Not Rhode Island.
I don't know, honestly.
Michigan State.
Oh.
So why haven't we talked about them? Well, until they beat Ole Miss on December 22nd, which was after our last show. Their best one was Clemson by a wide margin. So they largely hadn't played too many people. They lost to Wisconsin. An improved team, still not the best loss in the world.
Mhm.
Lost Julie Aralt from last year, but a lot of other pieces are the same from last year's tournament team. Grace Van Sluten isn't a traditional big. Had a big day yesterday against Indiana, 18-14. Theron Halleck is a returner. She's back in the lineup. She missed most of December. She's a senior. Nice portal addition, Rashonda Jones from Purdue. They do what they do. They force a billion turnovers. They like to wreak havoc. And they're quietly just sitting there. No one's talking about them. Throw them in the mix. Why not them in the Big Ten?
Yeah.
It's getting late early for Indiana.
Yeah.
3 losses in Big Ten play. None of them were competitive. The net is down to 57. They are at Maryland, at Nebraska. They're home to Iowa and Washington. They're at Ohio State. That's their next 6 games. There's a lot of opportunities. There's very little breathing room to get. There's 2 ways this could go. You climb yourself into the conversation, or you're out of it by the end of the month. And I feel like it might be the latter.
Yeah. I think they need to get some wins in this stretch if they're going to get their way into the conversation, because right now you don't have a single Q1 or Q2 win, and like you're not making the tournament with that. Obviously, they're going to have a bunch of opportunities to add some wins in those columns with these upcoming games, but you could also add a whole bunch of losses in those columns. And yeah, I think they are very quickly at a tipping point here.
And then quickly, I didn't write it down, but I'll ask you because you have Miami as one of the last 4 in.
Mhm.
Nice overtime win on the road with a big fourth quarter, a comeback at Virginia Tech. Virginia Tech, where are they in
I think
your?
they're in the conversation, but I don't think I have them in the field
But still a nice win.
currently. Yeah, still a nice one. Still a nice one for sure. I don't know if that's were they on the road, so it's probably
Yes.
a Q2 win.
Yep.
So yeah, that's a nice for Miami. Though now up to 2 Q2 wins. There still no Q1 wins. You got to get some of this obviously, but a nice one there.
There aren't that many. NC State, Duke, and Notre Dame, and Louisville. I guess all right. There's enough Q1 opportunities there. Okay, I take that back.
I mean, they're doing better than like some of the other teams in that same net range in like the ACC. Virginia finally they got a Q2 win last night, I think, because when they were or
They beat
some
Clemson.
point they beat Clemson. So Virginia prior to that had 0 wins in Q1, Q2, or Q3. Clemson still one of those teams with 0 wins in Q1, Q2, or Q3. So I'm not putting you in the field if you haven't beat someone else out of Q4.
Let's see. Syracuse, they have a quad 2 win.
Yes, they do. Syracuse has a quad 2 win and a quad 3 win, so that's good. But yeah, we're talking very small numbers here, so it'll be interesting to kind of see how these teams move as we go through.
Right, they have 2
ACC
weeks
play, yeah,
or 2 months, I should say, to improve on that. Anything else from Thursday? I mean, we can move to Wednesday because, boy, I don't want to overly exaggerate. I think Baylor saved its season on Wednesday. I mean, they were down 19 with 90 seconds left in the third. They looked lifeless. And suddenly you look at the schedule, it's like, well, they look a lot more like a lot of these games look losable than they do when you're not losing by 19 points on the road to a good Oklahoma State team. And then suddenly look at the resume, it's like the Duke win, but like I asked the question, Baylor's going to make the tournament, right? And then they ripped off a billion points in a row and win on the road in Oklahoma State, and suddenly everything's rosy in Waco.
Yeah, I mean, an insane fourth quarter rate. I think it was 29-8 fourth quarter. Just crazy. And I mean, Talia Scott just continues to be so good for this team. So yeah, a really nice win, and obviously, makes things look a lot better than it did at the end of the third quarter there for Baylor.
And suddenly, I'll flip that same question. Also, Van Geitenbeek was good. She had 17 points too. Got it. Her. I was high in Oklahoma State to start the year, so I will ask the question of them now. All of a sudden, they're 12-3. A loss at St. John's, that'll be a quad 3 loss. Their best win right now is Miami. Pretty good win. No other wins against top 100 teams. 0 quad 1 wins. And here are the remaining quad 1 games. Do you think they're going to win at TCU? Probably not. No. Are they going to win at home to Iowa State? If they get hot. That's probably not, but doable. Arizona State might be a quad 1 win. We're talking about the Sun Devils. Home to Texas Tech, at West Virginia, at Iowa State. So 5, maybe 6 quad 1 opportunities left. You need to win multiple of them, I think, to bolster the resume after that collapse.
Yeah, I think this is a team that's in a tough spot right now, and I think I'm trying to say this is a handful of teams, right, where like there's no Q1 wins. Their Q1 opportunities are really tough games, and I don't know, like if you're looking at it's hard to say anything right now because like everything will change so much, but when you look at a team like Rhode Island, like it's got a Q1 win, like how can you, when we're getting down to the bubble, like how can you put some of these power conferences in if they don't got a few Q1 wins with all the opportunities that they have?
Right. I don't think they're going to go 0-2.
Yeah.
I don't think they're going to go 0-6 in those games, but you're just putting a lot of pressure on yourself.
Right.
Like say you lose at TCU and you lose to Iowa State. Probably going to happen. 70% chance that happens, higher. Well, suddenly now, like Arizona State's a must win. Texas Tech might be a must win. At West Virginia, must win. Like, don't go into that Iowa State game having lost all those, needing to win in Ames.
Yeah, and some of those teams too, like they have to stay Q1 too, because there's Arizona State looks good, Texas Tech looks good, but
Yeah, Arizona State's the only
those
one who's on the like the line. I think it's
line,
Q2
yeah,
right now, but that could easily become quad one.
yeah, yeah,
How about the Sun Devils? They're
yeah.
15-0. I know the schedule, but like
Hmm.
they're 15-0 at this point.
Yeah.
And
I mean,
they
it's
keep winning these games by the skin of their teeth. But man, they're winning.
yeah, yeah. A nice win over Utah on Wednesday. Not fully sold. I mean, obviously, they're like leaps and bounds ahead of where they were a year ago, right? But I'm really interested to see what this team like looks like as we get further into Big 12 team play here, because I think they're pretty good. Like, I think they're not gonna go beat TCU or anything like that, probably, but like I don't know. I'm really interested to see what they look like as they get into more of these like real games.
Yeah, they're 15-0. They've tied the longest win streak in program history. 3 of their last 4 wins have been by a combined 5 points. McKenna Bracken's 31. She had the game-winning free throws at Utah on Wednesday with just over a second left. So yeah, Sun Devils. Shout out to them. They are 15-0. Anything else from the week? I mean, I feel like I'm missing something, but my brain is broken.
Yeah, I know. I think we got the big ones.
Want to ask you? We mentioned UCLA. Nice performance from Ohio State.
Mhm.
I know it was a loss.
Mhm.
Looked good against UCLA. Ohio State's better than I thought they'd be. UCLA, the basketball team, Lauren Betts, I think is starting to look like, I referenced it earlier, National Player of the Year, Lauren
Mhm.
Betts. She's really starting to pick it up.
Yeah, definitely. I think we're starting to see that, which is going to obviously just give this team a next kind of gear here going into the new year.
What did you make of Corey Close's comments after the Ohio State game? We're back on the discourse of coverage of women's basketball, especially after yesterday, like with the playoff games in football. LSU Kentucky was on SEC Network Plus.
Hmm.
Just Corey
Yeah, I
Close
think.
was, if you missed it, was basically mad that, or upset that, or at least pointed out. I don't want to
Mhm.
say how she was feeling. She pointed out top 25 game in Columbus, and there was like nobody there. Like no one talked to her after the game, or one reporter asked to talk to her after the game.
Yeah, I mean, I think she has a fair point, right? Like, I mean, I think like if you were looking at a top 25 men's game on the road, like there would be multiple people there, right? Obviously covering this team, and I feel like UCLA of the top team seems to has like a hard time with this in particular. Like I've been not in the last like 2 years when they've been really, really good, but I mean UCLA has been a top 15 team for quite a
Long
while
time.
now, and
Long
I've
time.
been out there and like been in a news conference with like me and a student reporter at like a conference game there. It's just kind of baffling.
It means LA.
Yeah, like
Like
exactly.
Juju has changed it a little bit, but like, no one cares about USC
Yeah,
men's or women's basketball in LA for
yeah,
the most part, or didn't before Juju. Like
yeah. I don't know. Yeah, it's a tough.
I think it's that particular instance, and this is more of the landscape of if the UCLA men go to Columbus, no one's going.
Yeah, yeah.
Like
There's definitely a shift there too. Like
no
people
one. I
are.
mean, you cover UConn, that
Yeah.
gets more coverage. Like UConn and South Carolina, basically, in Tennessee, there are a couple others that get more coverage than 99% of the world.
Right.
There's not as many beat reporters at UConn games on the road than there were 10, 15, 20 years ago.
Hmm. Yeah.
Because I mean, if you want to, we can get into a whole discussion of the world of journalism and paying people properly to cover
Right.
these games and go to these games, and I think that's more of it versus we don't care about women's basketball. It's I'm not paying
Money. Yeah.
like me, big man, money man. I'm not paying my beat reporter to fly 2,000 miles to cover a game.
Yeah, especially the week between Christmas and New Year's when flights are astronomically high and everything else too. Yeah. Yeah. I think there's a lot of that, and yeah, like newsrooms are cutting down when they're not flying people. And then you still have, I think, a lot of folks in the women's basketball space are doing things freelance and like are doing things out of pocket, and it's expensive
Right.
to
It's
get
on
places.
like someone. It's about investment, right? Someone needs to
Right.
invest, and it's not the reporter who can't make it to Columbus from Los Angeles
Right.
who needs to invest because they probably don't have any money because they're making scraps trying to make this, a livable opportunity.
Right.
It's on the people high above who, frankly, don't care. But I will say, in terms of where they're putting games, like TV is still shafting the women's. I get they do the mega cast for the playoff. It's like SEC Network Plus. that doesn't bother me. But like Big Ten plus, it's impossible to watch Big Ten games on the women's side. USC Nebraska was on a Monday afternoon. It was on Big Ten plus. Yeah, I pay for it.
Like what's on regular Big Ten network at that time?
Yesterday, I'll give them credit. They had like a quintuple header of all women's games all day. It was great. Can you do that every Wednesday or Thursday? Like the Big Ten, SEC does it. They play Thursday, they play Sunday. They play Thursday, they play Sunday. With that, you're going to get games bumped to SEC Network Plus. Big Ten basically plays every day. Like someone's playing every day. Can you at least, if you're going to do that, can you put them on TV?
Yeah.
I don't know. And then the other thing that this one doesn't really bother me, but there's for some reason Dawn Staley is getting criticized for signing a player from France midseason, which happens.
Yeah, I didn't understand this one at all.
I mean, you don't see too many You don't see too many international players join midseason, but like freshmen, freshmen enroll early all the time. Chloe Kitts enrolled early.
Yeah, I don't know if it's stemming from I think there is a separate conversation on the men's side about
signing NBA players.
Signing NBA players. So I was thinking part of it is just discourse from that rolling over. But yeah, I don't see anything wrong with the situation in South Carolina, and I don't know why we're talking about it. Talking about it as anything other than what they're adding, but the discourse around it being an issue, I don't understand.
Right, international players generally didn't come from the pro leagues because they were making money. Go all the way to America, you're not going to make any money. Now you have the opportunity to. So you're going to see more international players come.
Right.
There's no rules in the NCAA. I'm not accusing Dawn Staley of doing anything wrong. Everything's fine. There are no rules. It doesn't matter. They're going to get taken to court if they try to challenge things.
It's a mess. They need to figure it out. But
and it's different. Like the NBA, obviously, you basically, in theory, give up your rights to your college eligibility. International WNBA draft rules, you don't declare for the WNBA draft. You're just of age. So K-State signed a player who was technically drafted by a WNBA team. She didn't ask for it, for lack of a better term. She was just available, and they chose her rights. And it's different. So I don't get the discourse.
Yeah.
South Carolina has a new player. It's good because for the first time in forever, they're a little short on players.
Yeah.
Not short on talent, just short on numbers. And Texas Tech also signed a 7-footer. I'm interested what that looks like.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about some of these games. Saturday highlight, UCLA, USC. Jazzy had a brief scare on Monday. Seems fine. What impressed me most about USC on Monday against previously unbeaten Nebraska, they finally got some depth of scoring. All these big games. NC State, South Carolina, Notre Dame, Washington, UConn. It's generally been win or lose. 2 players, usually Jazzy and one other person.
Yeah.
Well, Monday, it was Jazzy. 17, 9, and 6 from Kennedy Smith, and 14 from Cara Dunn, and 13 from London Jones, who's now in the starting lineup. That's what I need to see more of.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that is a really nice stride forward for USC, and quite frankly, probably still not enough to beat UCLA, but I think it's the right step for them in terms of how are they going to win some more of these Big Ten games, the more balanced effort there. But I think, just when you look at UCLA, the thing that stands out to me most is what the heck is this team going to do against Lauren Betts? I just don't think they have a single answer for her.
No, frankly, I don't think this game's going to be close.
Yeah.
Theme of the next few minutes. There are some of these high profile games. I don't think they're going to be close. This is one of them. Their rebounding numbers, -14 NC State, -24 South Carolina. Got it rebounded by 2 to Notre Dame. Getting out rebounded by Notre Dame is alarming.
Yes.
-8 UConn, that was fine. -13 Nebraska. So they're winning some of these games. I think Betts can basically pick her point total.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, she could have 60 if she wanted to. If UCLA just chose, we're not going to give anyone the ball except for Betts, they might be able to win. I've been very wrong in my dismissive declarations before. I think UCLA rolls at home. TCU at Utah. So TCU got challenged for a bit, had a big fourth quarter Wednesday. Ultimately ran away from BYU. Again, I don't foresee an upset here. Second game of a mountain trip. Utah has the ability to get hot from deep. I don't think they're going to win, but make 11 or to 12 or 13 threes. Okay, because I think it's an interesting time for TCU because they're starting to get tested more and more and more.
Right. Yeah. I don't know that Utah quite has the firepower to do it, but I agree. I think it's going to be interesting to kind of see how this team starts to kind of handle things as we get deeper and deeper into Big 12 play. And a mountain trip is always tough, right? Like Utah's always a tough place to play. Like it's hard to go out there and play in general. But I just think TCU has too much size in this matchup once again to like really be challenged.
So TCU, they beat NC State on the road. Good
Mhm.
win. Beat Richmond, otherwise largely didn't play really anyone. But now they're in this stretch of a bunch of like second round Sweet 16 caliber test of
Mhm.
Utah, Oklahoma State, Arizona State. They're at West Virginia. They'll beat Arizona, but then they get Ohio State. That's their next 6 games. On a large scale, if TCU goes like 5-1 there, that's fine. But I think that's a good return. But individually, if they lose any one of those games, they're going to be really disappointed.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. Like it's a micro scale versus a macro scale.
Right.
5-1 in that 6-game stretch, that's tough. Then you're going to look at that one and go, we shouldn't have
Why?
lost that game.
Yeah, exactly.
Staying in the Big 12, 2 teams with tournament aspirations. We've talked about Arizona State. Haven't been there. I feel like it's the big bubble game against BYU.
Yeah.
Is BYU in that conversation?
I think they're close to it. I don't
see
think
them listed here. Obviously, they're first 4 out. So yes,
Yeah,
they're
in the conversation. Yeah, they're certainly right in that range, along with Utah too. Kind of honestly, kind of in that bubble group too. But yeah, it feels like, I mean, Arizona State right now is looking really nice with they've got 4 Q2 wins. That's more than a lot of teams have to their name right now, so that's going to elevate them for the time being. But I do think that these are 3 teams that are probably going to continue to be in that bubble conversation, and getting some wins against each other could be kind of the deciding factor.
Yeah, I will say, I like how the Big 12 has ebbs and flows to it. A few years back, Colorado and Utah were excellent. They've fallen back a little bit. K-State was really, really good last year, fallen back a little bit. But in their places, TCU went from bottom feeder to skyrocketing to the top of the conference.
Right.
Iowa State was decent. Then they've made that gradual climb. They're now a top 10 team. Texas Tech, Arizona State, BYU, like kind of out of nowhere, they're on the rise. West Virginia is kind of the one team that they're just always in the mix. Like ACC, it's the same teams. SEC, it's the same teams. They killed the Pac-12. Big Ten at the top, it looks new, but like largely the same teams. Big 12, I like that. Give it like in 5 years from now, I'm curious how it'll look.
Yeah, that's a fair point. I've never really thought about it that way, but it is a good point though. Like they really do kind of, the teams bounce around. It's not the same team that's like really good every year,
which I like. It caps their ceiling a little bit because they generally don't always have like mainstay national title contender now that Texas and Oklahoma are gone. But yeah, it's fun. And then one other sneaky game Saturday, Princeton at 10-3 Penn. I expect the Tigers to take care of business, but now like Princeton is largely in the losses to not Columbia are damaging. Right. So starting 0-1 in the Ivy League would put just a lot of pressure on them to basically run the table.
Yes and no. I think they've kind of comfortably built up enough of a resume. Like I think I have them like a 7 now. Like they've got a pretty nice resume going. They've got some quality wins there. The Rhode Islands, the Fairfield,
they have 3 Q2s and a quad 1.
Yeah. I forget who the quad one is, but yeah. So they've got a nice buildup of buffer there. You still don't want to be losing a bunch of Ivy League games. Obviously, that's gonna knock you down quickly, but I think they can afford maybe
Their
one
quad
outside
1 is,
of Columbia.
Their quad 1 is at Villanova.
Okay. Yeah, Nova quietly like a really solid tournament resume as well.
Yeah, I mean they're top 30 in the net. They've taken care of business in Big East play thus far. That doesn't say a ton, but I mean they handled Seton Hall, who's okay. They beat the crap out of St. John's, who turns out that Oklahoma State win kind of an anomaly. And they took care of business yesterday against Creighton, who isn't as good as they were. Won't be a tournament team, but yeah, Nova, second best team in the Big East.
For sure. I mean, kind of back to that, what I was saying about there was, 5 teams, the top 4 in Stanford, that had 5 Q1 and Q2 wins. There's only like a few more that had 4, and Nova and Princeton both right in there with the 4 Q1 and Q2 wins, and then it's NC State and USC as well.
And it goes to show you, like, on November 5th, whatever day the game was,
Mhm.
no one was talking about Princeton Villanova.
Right.
Turns
Actually,
out,
very important game.
very important game. Takes us to Sunday, Texas Ole Miss. Like, and I don't think this is fair to Ole Miss. I don't think they're the 15th best team in the country, and I think that Texas is going to roll.
Yeah.
That's probably not fair. Like, they're like Ole Miss. They're defensive. Their numbers are very good. They generate a lot of turnovers. Maybe the schedule just isn't there yet for me. But right now,
Yeah.
I just think they need to kind of prove it, and they will. Like, they have Texas and Oklahoma on the road the next two. I will have a firm view of Ole Miss next week when we talk. Because right now, especially, I think Texas might be angry after a sluggish win last night at Missouri.
Yeah.
I think Texas rolls.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, yes, Ole Miss is going to turn you over, and like the defense is going to be good, but so is Texas's, and I don't know that Ole Miss has the scoring power to keep up with the Texas scoring power.
Yeah, like I don't see it really with like two teams. The Rebels had a very good second half against Notre Dame that I don't think is great.
Yeah.
Unimpressed with a baffling loss to K-State at home. Didn't crack 50 against Michigan State. Needed overtime to beat Memphis. Like, not a bad team.
Yeah.
It's all on, like, you're grading on a scale here. They're preseason top 20. They're currently ranked 15th. I just don't think they're hosting good right now.
Yeah.
But split with Texas and Oklahoma. Oh, okay, we have a different conversation.
Yeah.
I will say I didn't have Texas down 17-2 or whatever on my bingo card. Yesterday was the ultimate take care of business. There's too much happening. If you're supposed to take care of business, I don't have the bandwidth to
watch.
And I see like 15-2, and it's like, oh, Christ, I got to turn on the game. Come on.
Yeah.
After Missouri needed overtime to beat 3-9 Kansas City in the midweek.
Yeah.
Good news for Texas. Ashton Judd and Brianna Preston have both returned to the lineup. So Texas, as if they needed more firepower, got some depth, which is scary. Good one Sunday. Vandy LSU.
Yeah, this is an interesting one. Vandy, like, I think looked good, but I feel like they've had a couple of bigger games, but it hasn't been none one like astronomical yet. So I'm really interested to see what they look like against this LSU team.
They have nice wins. Oregon State is better than they were last year. BYU, challenging to get in the tournament. Virginia, challenging to get in the tournament. South Florida, they had a tough schedule. Might be the American favorites. Fine win. Cal, same conversation. So, yeah, they have a lot of 4 or 5 games I just listed. A lot of nice wins. This is a
big game.
Prove that you are in the upper echelon of the SEC type of game. Yeah. I mean, I'm very impressed with their balance, right? Like, obviously, Michaela Blake's it raw runs through her, but like they've essentially replaced Camille Pierre and Ayanna Moore by committee. And that was our big question at the start of the season, right? Who else do they have? Well, they have 5 other players averaging at least 8 points.
Yeah. No, I agree. I like their balance. It's not always the Michaela Blake show, and I think that's really important. So I'm interested to see what they look like against LSU. I don't think this is like a must win for them or anything like that. Like, I just would like to see them hang around.
Yeah, absolutely. I will say Aubrey Galvin, she averages over 7 assists a game. She's a freshman, a name we have not said on this podcast this year. She's absolutely been as impactful as some of these other big name freshmen that make the most best freshmen in the country lists.
Yeah.
I had my doubts in the preseason. They've proven me very much otherwise to this point. So, yeah, credit to Vanderbilt. Good team. I'm excited for Sunday. That's a home game, too. And then, I don't know. My gut says Iowa State Baylor. I think Iowa State rolls. Cyclones have looked like Kansas had them on the ropes. They looked okay against Houston, who's at the bottom of the league, and then Baylor. I don't really like what I see from Baylor, but they also just overcame a 19-point deficit and won, so maybe they turn that tide.
Yeah.
But my gut says Iowa State rolls.
Yeah, I think Iowa State should roll. Whether that'll actually happen, I don't know. I feel like Iowa State's one of those teams that sometimes I'm just like, why is this game close? And it is. Yeah, I think this is one that it should be an interesting. I don't know. It could be interesting.
I don't trust Baylor.
Yeah.
That's the big thing. It's not to say like they can't. Clearly they can.
Hmm.
I don't trust them to do so. And I know I keep going back to it. They played 6 top 60 opponents in 6 games against top 60 foes, so tournament caliber teams. Fauntleroy and Little Page Bugs have 68 combined points in 6 games.
It's just ugly.
Again, these are 2 players who've scored over 2,300 points combined. They won't outscore Iowa State that way. That's what you have to do, right? Against Iowa State, you're not going to win 58-55.
Mm-hmm.
If those 2 combine for 10 points, they're going to get run out of the building. Little Page Bugs, I don't think played this. She played like 3 minutes in the second half. Maybe it's a message. I don't know if she got injured. I was at work, so the sound wasn't on. I just noticed she wasn't there. If they show up, they got a chance. Talia Scott probably can't single-handedly carry them to a win.
Yeah, they need something else.
I mean, Audie Crooks, where is she in the Player of the Year race? I mean, the numbers are astronomical, and they keep happening.
Yeah, like she certainly has to be in that conversation. I feel like I haven't really heard her name thrown in that conversation all that much, but like it certainly should be.
I mean, she puts up 35 points every game.
Yeah, exactly.
17 of 19 shooting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, she's right now like the most unstoppable force.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know what she's going to do. She's going to go down low.
Yeah.
Can't stop her. She's spectacular. Other games Sunday. Feels like a big game in Durham. Notre Dame Duke.
Yeah.
Chance for Notre Dame to maybe just re-find its footing. I think it's clear they're not in the upper tier of the ACC for the first time in a long time. I think a chance for Duke to prove once and for all that they are past that disastrous November.
Yeah. I feel like my gut says that this is probably Duke's game. Like, Duke should win this. Like, I think they've turned a corner. But they've got to make Hannah Hidalgo's life difficult, because my concern is if Hannah can score 30, then Duke's got to put up a lot of points to keep up.
I counter that with if they get Toby Fournier the ball.
Yeah.
There's no one who's going to stop her.
Yeah, very true.
An important game for Delaney Thomas as well. Like, basically, Duke has 2 posts who can take over the game. Or at the very least, take over is a strong term, I guess, compared to like how Hannah Hidalgo can take over a game. But they can neutralize that because there's just very little resistance inside. Still a very good defense, top 10 her hoop stats ratings. If they can find a way to just make some shots, they're probably going to dominate on the glass. Fournier, a big game. No way this comes back to haunt me. Give me Duke.
Yeah.
Not because and this has nothing to do with them winning by 51 yesterday, because BC is terrible. Second worst power team in the country. Probably because at some point they're going to play Pitt and we'll find out who actually is worse. I mean, Notre Dame, they're in a weird spot, right?
Yeah.
Like, they have some really nice wins. They got blown out by Michigan. They beat USC. They had the baffling loss yesterday. They're not hosting good. This might just wind up being a very wide end of the spectrum, middle of the road team, like a 6 seed.
Yeah. Yeah. Like a 6 seed. You'd probably prefer not to have to play, because then you have to play Hannah Hidalgo.
Yes. They have one of the 5 best players in the country, yes.
Yeah.
Stanford, USC. Talk about Stanford. I've said over and over, I'm high on North Carolina. I'm high on North Carolina. I'm high on North Carolina. I'm at the point now where Fairfield and Columbia are nice wins. I kind of need to see it.
Right.
Can they make a statement in an open ACC? Because if they lose to Stanford, now it's like, all right, now like they're not going to miss the tournament. None of that. But I've said, hey, this team's good. This team's good. This team's good. They're not South Carolina good, but they're good. Eventually, just show it.
Yeah.
Beat Stanford on Sunday.
Yeah. I think it's not like a must win, like they're going to miss the tournament, but I think just like you said, they need to show that they're truly part of this like top tier of the ACC. I don't know that we've seen them demonstrate it yet.
And then Cal made the tournament last year. It seems like they kind of could use a win in Raleigh on Sunday.
They certainly could. I don't know if I see it. I feel like NC State feels to me like they've kind of turned a corner. Like, I know they've had some up and downs, but it feels like they've kind of righted the ship. And I don't know. I don't know that I see Cal being able to pull this one off. But I mean, we've seen enough crazy things in the last 24 hours that who knows.
Big Ten on Sunday, Michigan State, Illinois. I love this matchup.
Yeah,
Team
that's
that
gonna
loves
be
turning
fun.
over against a team that doesn't want to go overly fast and won't turn it over. We've talked about both of these teams. I think that's a fascinating coin flip
Yeah,
game. Most games in the Big Ten are coin flip games, let's be honest.
yeah,
But I'm really looking forward to that. And then I think Indiana needs to show something against Maryland because we mentioned it. I don't think they win in College Park. I think that game's in College Park.
yeah. I think so
But
too.
also, I want to see how Maryland rebounds after a loss.
Agreed. Yeah, I think for Maryland, like it's important that like the one loss doesn't turn into a spiral, right? Like as we talked about how many pieces they're down, like leaders that they're down on this team. Like I think they still have a really good team, and then they don't they shouldn't stack losses here. Like I think they're a much better team than Indiana.
Yeah, they get Indiana and Rutgers the next
Mhm.
two. It's really easy in the Big Ten. If you're down, like there's just it can
Spiral
snowball
quickly.
fast,
Yeah,
right? Because
yeah.
you look up, it's like a black hole. It's like, oh, there's no way to climb out of this. It seems
Mhm.
when like after Indiana and Rutgers, it's Ohio State, West Coast trip to USC and UCLA. You host Iowa, you host Washington, you host Oregon. You're at Michigan State, you're at Nebraska. It's like, there's no
It's
room to
gauntlet.
breathe.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. It feels
so
like you got to kind of like get Indiana, get Rutgers, right the ship, and then go into that stretch.
right, which I expect them to do. It's
Yeah,
just it's more of the point of man, that's relentless.
it is.
Tuesday, another team who I think needs to show it, Ducks. Oregon and USC. Nice effort against Michigan. Great
Mhm.
comeback. There's 25th in the net, so there's wiggle room here. Ultimately, they lost, but right now their best win is Auburn, Oregon State.
Yeah, well, they need to pick up some wins. Like 25th in the net will only get you so far. Like we've seen someone that's 25th in the net miss the tournament. I'm
Yeah, it
pretty
was
sure.
Oregon.
Like yeah, they've been there before. We've seen this before. Like the net will get you in the conversation, but you've got to have the wins to back it up.
Yeah, so just lots of time, lots of
Mhm.
games left, lots of quad one, quad two opportunities to start to win some of these 50-50 games. Starts with Tuesday against USC, and they'll be fine. Wednesday, Illinois, Ohio State. Buckeyes, another team I was down on in the preseason. Thought they might miss the tournament. Blown out at UConn, didn't look good, but they've turned the corner. They've had UCLA on the ropes. They beat West Virginia. They've avoided some roadblocks. And boy, Jelani Cambridge, you knew she was good. She's really, really good.
Yeah, really good. I still think this is an interesting game. Like we just saw Illinois beat Maryland. Like I think this is a fun game, but yeah, it feels like maybe like if you like take that big group of Big Ten teams that we talked about earlier, like Michigan is probably the best of them, but like Ohio State's probably maybe second best. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah. And then Wednesday, West Virginia, Texas Tech. That's a quad one win for someone.
Hmm.
I think the Red Raiders, like they've established, that's not a fluke. They
Yeah.
beat Baylor for the first time since the Lincoln administration. They're still undefeated. Win this game, that's a quad one win. And then you're talking like they could run the table to the end of January when they play one of the big two, TCU, Iowa State.
Hmm.
Big 12 could have 3 teams hosting.
Yeah, I don't think it's out of the question. I think we're especially looking at like an ACC where like maybe 2 teams will host, but
In
it
the
might
Big
be
10,
one. Like the Big Ten.
they're all going to beat the crap out of each other.
Yeah, yeah. Like there's certainly some room in that hosting conversation. Like there's gonna be a whole bunch of SEC teams in there, but who else?
Yeah. Davidson St. Joe's do anything for you Wednesday?
I think probably more from a Davidson standpoint. I forget where St. Joe's is in the net, but I feel like they're not really in the conversation right now. But Davidson needs to rack up some wins, and that might be a Q2 win for them, and they need to start piling up some of this.
I mean, we could be talking multi-bid A10 again.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
saying.
I think there's certainly a 2-bid conversation there. I mean, Richmond's put themselves in a bit of a hole, but I still think like they're in a decent spot. And Rhode Island, like I said, I think has probably the best at-large resume right now. And Davidson's certainly in the conversation.
Yeah. Thursday we'll rip through them. Oklahoma, Ole Miss. I think Ole Miss has a better chance against Oklahoma than Texas. I still don't think they win. Can I point out Oklahoma turned the ball over a billion times last year. 14 turnovers a game this year. Love
Very
it.
nice improvement.
Yes. And they led the country in possessions per 40 minutes last year. They actually average 2 more possessions per game than they did last year and still turned it over less. Defense still has room for improvement. I think this is a Final Four caliber team.
Yeah.
Like if you ask me to name the 4, It's probably the big four. Oklahoma's, I think, 5th on that list. Do you buy Alabama? 1 loss. They're ranked. They play Kentucky on Thursday. Do you buy Alabama? I don't really. They're
I
ranked.
don't really
I don't
think
really
I
see it.
do. I'm interested to see what they look like against Kentucky. I mean, they just got like blown out of the water by South Carolina, but that can happen to a good team. So, I'm interested to see what they look like, but I kind of expect Kentucky to win this comfortably.
Yeah, I mean, Alabama, nice win over Minnesota. That's the only top 40 win. Clemson and Harvard are their only other wins in the top 120 on her hoop stats. So I think Arizona State should have been ranked this week. Again, it doesn't ultimately matter. I don't care that much, but Arizona State feel like should have been ranked 24th in Alabama receiving votes, but they flipped them. Whatever, it's fine.
Yeah.
Tennessee, Mississippi State. I'm curious about this one. Mississippi State's like the ultimate. They're on the bubble every year.
Yeah.
Right? They're probably going to be there again.
There. Yes.
Right. They've been there every year as long as we've been doing the show. They played 2 top 120 teams. They beat Davidson in the opener. They lost to Texas Tech. I lied. They make it 3 because they won yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Have you seen the Kim Caldwell comments recently? Things are
not being ready for SEC play. Yeah.
And then last night they blew a 17-point first half lead against Florida. Ultimately won.
Mm-hmm.
Something's going on in Knoxville.
Yeah, things are definitely not going great there. Like I think. Yeah, it's a good opportunity for Mississippi State. I think, so the type of win that certainly is going to help you on the bubble. If something's going on at Tennessee, but it also feels like Tennessee needs to start racking up some of these. Like a win over Florida is nice and all, but like it's not a great win. Like they're gonna need to rack up some of these.
I mean, I'm not even worried about them making or missing the tournament.
No. Yeah.
This is just the eye test of.
Yeah.
Like it looked like they quit in the 4th quarter in Brooklyn. Just called it. And you're asking questions of it seemed to get awfully stale under Kelly Harper. In the world of you can turn things around instantaneously. Are they that much better?
Yeah.
Are they better? It looks a lot different.
Yeah.
They had a lot of energy last year. They ultimately went from a 6 seed to a 5 seed. But like the Kelly Harper era wasn't some sort of disaster. They were a 3 and a 4 seed most years.
All right.
Like, are they better?
Yeah. No, it's a fair point. Like I felt like last year there was certainly like a new energy about the team, and it felt like they were a little bit better, but like they needed to build on that this year, and it doesn't really feel like they're building on it at the moment.
To this point.
And, yeah.
They recruit the heck out of players, so they have a lot of talent coming in. But it seems weird. Seems uncomfortable in Knoxville right now, and losing at Mississippi State, or whenever they play the gauntlet in the top tier teams, they haven't shown it to this point. So we'll see if Duke loses the Notre Dame game. They play Cal on Thursday on the West Coast. Are we starting to get into must-win territory if they were to lose to Notre Dame?
I think maybe. I still think they have a little bit more of a buffer. Like, I thought, like, if we got into a situation where, like, Duke didn't beat, like, South Dakota State and Belmont, that we were going to have to talk about it. But I don't really think that they're going to get to a point where they're not going to make the tournament. But, yeah, you got to start winning some of these. Like, if you do lose to Notre Dame, you got to get some of these lower tier ACC games for sure. Yeah, you're going to be in trouble. But
okay, I was just asking. LSU at Georgia. Georgia was undefeated.
This does not.
I get it. Like, you've been down for a couple of years. Schedule, get wins. That's fine. I just don't think that they're like they may not reach 20 wins. And they started 14-0. And then Washington, Michigan State on Thursday is
it'll be
another fun game of flip a coin. Flip a coin. That's what we should just do for the next 2 months. Flip a coin, and we'll see where we are in March in the Big Ten.
That's really what it feels like, honestly. Maybe 1 or 2 will emerge, but it feels like these teams are just gonna all beat up on each other.
Yes. All right. So that is your weekly preview. I mean, we could have gone more in depth. We'd be here all day.
Yes.
After our rosy conversation about the things going on in Knoxville, we have 2 all-time drafts left, and we're going to Tennessee today. So 12 players, 6 per side. Let me get my coin flip generator ready here.
I feel like this draft has you written all over it because it's
a
lot of history.
I had lots of fun with this one. You think it's like the 5th time I've done this. You'd think I'd figure out how to share my screen by now. But here we are. Coin flip generate. All right. Heads or tails?
I'll go with heads.
Oh, Google says tails.
You get the first pick.
I kind of wanted you to have the first pick. Okay. Give me. I feel like you and I would have had different first picks. I'm taking this as a purely college draft. Give me Shamika Holtzclaw. 3,000 points. She's the all-time scorer and rebounder. 2-time National Player of the Year. 4-time All-American. This isn't like a hot take of a first pick. 3 national championships. 2-time Most Outstanding Player. Best player on what I think is the second best team of all time. 98 team that went 39-0. She was the best player on it. Give me Shamika Holtzclaw. I know who you're taking second, though.
Yeah. Yeah, no, this is one where there was, I feel like, a debate on the first pick, though. I might have gone the same route as you, honestly, just because, like, all those things you just rattled off. Like, if we're talking about college, it certainly is Holtzclaw, but, I mean, second, I'm take Candace Parker. Doesn't really need an introduction, but 3-time All-American, 2 titles, only player to go on to the pros and win Rookie of the Year and MVP same season. Like, she doesn't need much introduction. Everyone knows who Candace Parker is.
No.
But
and then I know who you're taking third, too.
Third, I'm going to go with Tamika Catchings.
That's the correct answer.
Yeah. there's really not a lot of debate here either. 98, undefeated natty, 4-time All-American.
If your list of best women's basketball players of all time, under 5, 10, if it doesn't have Tamika Catchings on it, I don't want to see your list. I don't want to see it. She's not the best scorer ever, like 2,100 points in college, but 1,000 rebounds. She's the best on-ball defender, I think, in women's basketball history, any level. She was that good.
Yeah.
And yeah, just so good. So good. I wanted to go first. I should have let you go first. Okay. Beyond that, 3 legends of the game. Not that these aren't legends. I'll take their second all-time leading scorer, Bridget Gordon. Shamika Holtzclaw had over 3,000 points. Gordon is second at 2,500. That's how good Holtzclaw was. On the first of the 2 title teams in 87 and 89, she was the most outstanding player in 89. She had 27 and 11 in the championship game. So yeah, may not, remember the name. That was darn near 40 years ago, but yeah, one of the first Tennessee legends. And then we'll stay with early Pat Summitt. Deidre Charles only played 3 years. Won a couple national championships. Won a Wade Trophy. Had 19 and 12 in an overtime of the national title win over Virginia. Yeah. I'm gonna lose this when I post it online because no one knows people beyond like COVID, but that's okay. Deidre Charles was really, really good. You got the next 2.
Alrighty. I'm also gonna go pretty far back on these, so I don't know if neither of us are gonna be popular on the internet, but someone else on those first 2 title teams, Sheila Frost. A lot of early titles for these predate even me. Probably you too on some of them.
Yeah, she was the standard bearer of like what became that long line of Tennessee bigs.
Yep. And then even further back, so pre the titles, but 3-time All-American, Hall of Famer, Holly Warlick.
Yes. AIAW days, but
yeah.
First Tennessee athlete, period. Man, woman, any sport to have her number retired. Tennessee. All right, so give me Samika Randall, freshman sensation on that 98 team that we referenced. She averaged 16 a game that year as a freshman, and wasn't their leading scorer. Shamika Holtzclaw was so good. Finished 7th in scoring, 2-time All-American, good defender. Give me Randall and give me Alexis Hornbuckle. 2-time national championship. She had the winning bucket in the 08 national semis against LSU. Did everything. 1,300 points, 750 rebounds, 500 assists. Not even 6 feet tall. Yeah, I probably could have gone elsewhere, but give me Alexis Hornbuckle. All right, you got 2 more.
All right, I'm going to go back to those first titles again. Final 4 outstanding player, Tanya Edwards, was on the 86 through 89 teams. And then a little bit more recent, no national titles, but 3 Final Fours in her career. And now the head coach at Duke, Kara Lawson.
Okay, so I have 1 left. Boy, I'm going in the Wayback Machine here. The first black player in Tennessee history, her name was Trish Roberts. She played 1 year, 1977. She is actually her third stop. She played at North Georgia State College and then Emporia State College. Her first game against Kentucky, school record, 51 points. School record, 20 rebounds. She then broke her own rebounding record. In 1 year at Tennessee, she averaged 30 points and 14 rebounds a game in her 1 year there. And she's, Tennessee legend, all that, yada, yada. So give me Trish Roberts to round things out. So, Team Rob is Holtzclaw, Gordon, Charles, Samika Randall, Alexis Hornbuckle, Trish Roberts. Team Megan is Candace Parker, Catching, Sheila Frost, Hallie Warlick, Tanya Edwards, Kara Lawson. We're going to post those on social. By the way, if you're listening this long, God bless you. Leave us a review or leave the Her Hoop Stats feed a review. We got content pretty much every day. We took some holiday time off. There were no games last week. We still had content pumped out. Leave us a review. I don't care if you don't like me. That's fine. Leave us a review. Let us know what you think. Next week, we have one more. We going 20 with UConn?
We're doing 20.
You want to do 20? 12. You want to do like two full teams each?
We could. There's so many players.
All right. Plan accordingly.
Then I'll actually have to prep because I was like, I'm not gonna have to prep for the UConn one because I could probably do 6 each in our sleep.
Yeah, then that's too many. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So we'll plan for that. Enjoy your Sundays and your Thursdays going forward, folks. You got plans. You're busy. For that matter, Big 12 on Wednesday nights. You're busy from now until the end of the year. So enjoy it. Thanks for hanging in there. We'll talk next week.